welcome to Coffee with Joy. I'm your favorite host, Joy, with Coffee with Joy Talk Show podcast. I'm so excited to have this edition, Mother's Day edition. For all our mothers out there, happy Mother's Day. As I'll be talking to a few guests throughout this week who are mothers, newly mothers, who are married, single, you name it. Mothers are mothers. We'll talk about the ups and downs, the good and the bad, the equal and the great. We'll be talking about all that and more. Please make sure that you leave a comment below. If there's anything that we did not touch, anything that you'd like to hear or see, please do put it down below so that our guests will be able to see it or myself and be able to respond. We'll love to have you on. If you are a mother, please do chime in. So after these messages, we're going to talk to my guest, Tiffany, who's a newly mother. So excited. And we get to share she's get to share all the insight about motherhood as she starts this journey as she's been in as far as right now 11 months and 2 days and plus. So after these messages, we're going to talk to my guest, Tiffany.
Joy. Got a story, a business, or an idea you'd love to share over a good cup of coffee? I want to meet you. Come be my guest on the show. We celebrate voices big.
Welcome to Coffee with Joy. We'll bring my guest Tiffany on. Hey, Tiffany.
Hello.
Yes. Before we get in, can you tell people a little bit about yourself? And then we're going to jump right into our conversation.
So I'm Tiffany. I feel like I be saying like I'm a retired influencer, but like this lady in Houston walked up to me the other day, like, I know you, your policy and fashion. So I guess I'm still an influencer. And a mommy. And a wife, a sister, an amazing friend. I feel like I'm trying to be every woman. I am every woman.
And you are every woman. So
Mm.
now, like I stated in the opening piece, you have been a mommy now for 11 days and 2 days and plus as we begin to air this show. So how has it been? Tell us about a little synopsis about motherhood.
Yeah, mommy life is fun. I'm a sleepy girl, so I just say I'm a sleepy girl. So Kennedy is 11 months now. She's 11 months. So we're planning our first birthday party. So I'm a big birthday girl, so I'm excited to be bringing that tradition to my baby. Um, I think this year has been one of the most transformative ever. I am someone who usually likes to be like, I know the next step, I know, but this is like a whole different uncharted territory that like I don't know what's next. I don't know what to expect. You can listen to other people's stories and stuff on social media and books and all this other stuff and listen to your friends, but like it's true your own journey. So it has been something where I've had to rely heavily on other people, which is something that I typically am like, I'm going to do it myself, but like you just can't. So I have an amazing husband. Shout out to Kendrick. I feel like we have been braving this last year together. The many nights of what's wrong with this baby? Why is she crying? To even the very beginning with my birth, like I had my daughter at 36 weeks a whole month early. Like I did not expect to have her so soon. So um going through that hospital stay for a week and then having a C-section, like that was a scary time, right? Because so many Black women die in
Mhm.
childbirth. And unfortunately, I live in Harris County in Houston and has one of the highest mortality rates for Black
Mhm.
women for maternal health in the country.
Mhm.
So it's just, but when you go through and all of that, you can't think about all those bad things. You have to rely on your faith.
Right.
And you just have to pray for the people who are caring for you, and praying that you can come out safely and your child as well. And I've just had amazing friends and family support through this last year. I just couldn't have done it without them.
Amen. Amen. Amen.
Mhm.
Yes, motherhood is definitely a trying time. It really would test your equilibrium. It really put your how to's to do you really know what you're doing, right? So,
Mhm.
do you find yourself to be more of a planner or just do it type of mom?
I mean, some of the stuff you do have to have a plan for. Like you
Mhm.
can't just like walk out the house with nothing,
Right.
right? But I have tried to find a balance between like walking out the house with 15,000 bags versus one bag, right?
Mhm.
So as the year has gone on, I've gotten very strategic about like, what do I really need in my diaper bag? I don't need 50 11 bags. I don't need even a diaper bag in a purse sometimes. Like I can put my stuff in the diaper bag. Like really trying to be work smarter.
Yeah.
Um, I think my planning for the first few months I wasn't working. So like until Kennedy turned what 9 months, I was at home with her. So I would look for things for us to do, like, oh, okay, we can go to the library on Tuesday. We can go to mommy and me yoga on Wednesday. And that would be our plan for the day.
Mm.
Um, so I think very early on, the plan is to clean your body, like just to take a shower. That was like my goal for like the first month of like, I'm going to take a shower and I'm going to eat.
Yeah.
Um, but I am, I don't like everything planned out, so I
Yeah.
can be spontaneous, but I realize that I can't just be on a whim like I used to be. I have
Mhm.
to plan things out.
Well, and so that's a good segue into, building community, right? And as you go to Mommies and Me events, do you find the community to be very helpful? And if so, how do you utilize the community in your area?
Mm.
Um, how do you find that to be?
So there have been some, I would say mommy communities are vast out here in Houston. And I would say probably one of the most like diverse spaces. For me, I've really found, some great places. Community is really important to me. So I've worked really, really hard to like find places that I feel like align with me. I will say that you can't just assume I went to an event like, oh, her daughter looks like the same age as Kennedy. So I'm gonna go sit by them and they're gonna be, be able to play together. I'm gonna have a mommy friend. And that lady looked at me like, who are you? Um, I've had really warm reception to people. I've had some people like, "Oh, you old? Like, why you take so long to have your baby?" Like somebody told me that before at a mommy group, right? So I've had some judgmental people, and then I've made some really close um acquaintances now that are, developing into friendships where these are moms that are around my age. We have similar kind of backgrounds. So it's been a journey, but I do think that finding community in mommyhood is so important because there are people who you can have a shared experience.
Yeah.
You can share providers, you can share tips on like, oh, this formula works, this um shampoo works for your hair, or this stuff, if she got a bald spot, use this, or stuff like
Mhm.
that. So it's helpful. But just like anything in adulthood, like sometimes it is hard to make friendships.
Yeah.
And sometimes people are rusty and like, and then times people just aren't nice, right? And
Yeah.
like you have to be okay with that. But then that person's just not for you. You gotta keep moving. So when that girl said that stuff to me, like, oh, I'm old, like why it takes so long to have my baby, like I just was like, okay,
Mm.
I don't want to talk to her no more. But like I'm also like, girl, you talking to me and like you still live with your parents. So
Yeah.
like whatever. But not me, no shade to that. But it's just like I don't think she understood that it offended me because she was just so young.
Yeah.
But then I was just like, okay, Tiffany, like that's just not your person. So
Yeah.
like don't let that deter you from going to other events or engaging with other people even at that event. So
Yeah.
I think it is important to find community because isolation for me is when you get in kind of in your own thoughts, and that's when kind of that postpartum depression can set in, kind of like, oh, it's me, like, oh, I'm out here on the island by myself.
Yeah. And first, I want to say rude to her. Okay. That's number one. Okay. I need for her to open up. Rude to her. But yeah, that's my little tidbit. And the reason why I ask is because, of course, when we look on social media or even on TV or anywhere on the outside, it looks like such a great kumbaya community, right?
Mm.
Oh my God, everybody's so cheerful. Everybody's so excited. You will never know the story unless you have a child to be invited, right? Well, at least I would think, because I won't find myself sitting there amongst people with kids. So just on the outside looking in, it looks so welcoming, right? Not knowing, you would know, but not knowing those type of evidence or conversation is happening, right? Because of course, whether you're in your 20s versus 40s, if we have a child that's the same age, it still should bring community. It shouldn't have anything to do with my age, but just to hear that conversation is very disparate.
Hmm.
But that's the world we live in. And how do your child because again, I don't want to use her name, but that's your choice. How do your child find to be opening with other children? Like some kids, even though we talk about babies here, they could be standoffish. They could be like, "Oh, I don't know you." But how do your child take to other kids when you're in these mommy and group communities?
Yeah, so KK, she actually is like, let me say this. First and foremost, anybody knows me, I'm a social butterfly. If anybody knows my husband's side of the family, my mother-in-law, my father-in-law, they are, will talk to anybody, baby. Anybody from janitor to CEO. So she has the social gene. And then sometimes if she's a sleepy girl, she just looking around like, I'm sleepy. But
Mhm.
for the most part, I've seen her kind of grow and develop where, in her own little kid way of like, oh, I'm gonna touch their hand. Okay, we're friends, kind of thing.
Yeah.
So she is opening up and like willing to play, share. So yeah, no, she has a social gene. So she is like, even now my friends' kids, even though she's the smallest one, she'll go over and look at them on their iPad and like try to like share a toy with them. So she definitely is sociable and she wants to go around and smile at people. We haven't quite mastered the concept of waving, so she does more like this to people. And that's like her high, but she's definitely going to be a social baby.
That's awesome. That's great to hear. So, it's easy for parents to have like expectations or for what we say rules, right? As we want to have we want to make sure our kids know certain behaviors and certain things. It's easy to have a 5-year-old or 6-year-old. When I say easy, they can somewhat comprehend,
Hmm.
certain things. But when you're talking to 11-month-old, how do you incorporate certain things that she needs to understand now? Far as like any behavior issues or something you see, okay, this is not appropriate, this is not it, or tantrum. Because again, of course you would know, but on the outside looking in, how does that look from a parenting standpoint on trying to make sure, okay, my child is not, we don't throw just
Unruly.
or certain things because the 11-month-old is different from a 5-year-old. So what does that look like in Tiffany household?
Yeah, I mean, I think it is hard, but I think one thing she's doing now is like pinching people. So I've been like telling her because I'm breastfeeding, she's like pinching my boob.
Mm,
So I would every time she does, I'm like, ouchie, that really hurts, mommy. And like removing her hand, like removing her hand. Every time she's like trying to take my glasses off, it's like, oh, mommy needs these to see. I need these. You have to give them back. So like I'm trying to course correct in the moment. I
mm,
mean, honestly, she does not know what she's doing.
yeah,
Um, Even now with like the outlets, trying to go to that, I'm like, that's unsafe. We don't touch this. But it's like, also, well, Tiffany, you need to cover the outlets,
yeah.
right? Like these earrings, when she gets up, I know I cannot wear these around her. These would be in her mouth, right?
Mhm.
So, like, I also have to take away the things that are going to be a issue for
Yeah,
her because she is 11 months. She doesn't get it. Um, but I do let her know when she's hurting me, like, ow, that hurts.
yeah.
Ouchie, that hurts. And like nice hairs, because I feel like she like hit Kendrick in the head or something the other day. But they were playing and it went too far. He like, ow, she hit me. I'm like, okay, well, y'all also play too much.
Right.
So I think is, just trying to say like, ow, that hurts, or, letting them know like, oh, I don't like that. So even when she tries to like eat something and then hand it to me too, I was like, oh no, thank you. Mommy doesn't want that. So I'm trying to course correct in the moment. I am not like this. I don't know how I'm going to be in terms of disciplinarian.
Yeah.
I don't know what's going to happen. I went somewhere the other day and this lady was like, oh, we don't have rules in our household. But her kid was like, all over the floor, like
Mm.
playing with the dog toys, like putting that stuff in his mouth. I'm like, ooh. So I'm like, I know that there is a balance. I just don't know what that balance will look like for our household.
Right, right. Now, how do you all handle the dual parent? Because it's very grateful that she has both parents in the household. Whoopee, because there are single parents, and there's only one parent to like 3 kids. But how are mother and daddy? How are you all making sure that that she knows, okay, there's no, oh, this is my favorite. I could get away with dad or I could get away with mom. How do you all split that role? What does that look like in Tiffany's household?
I mean, Kendrick is the favorite. I'm the cow. So she knows when she sees me, like there's an opportunity for food. So that is, or like an opportunity, like, oh, I just want to like lay on you, like nibble, eat, go to sleep. So she knows that with me. Kendrick, they are play all the time. So anything that's fun in the house, I
Mm,
can toddle around, I can eat this, he's gonna let me try that. Is Kendrick. Like
got
he's the play guy, he's fun. I am the one that's like, Kennedy, we're going to sleep. Kennedy, we're taking a bath. Wrap things up, tell everyone good night.
it.
Because she thinks because people may be over our house, she gets to stay up too.
Mm.
Nope, you're a baby, you're going to bed, say good night. So I am more of the, like, as Kendrick would say, the hammer, um, the fun police. Um, but I try to be like, okay, girl, you gotta go to sleep. Like, you gotta wrap this up. Like, you can't be up at midnight. Like, you are a baby. But Kendrick does a great job putting her to sleep and like
Mm,
in her crib. Otherwise with me, she would just lay on me all night.
mm,
So he does a good job of like feeding her the last bottle, reading her story, rocking her to sleep, putting her in a crib. He does a great job with like nighttime. So I'll do the bath part and then turn her over to him with the
mm.
bottle. So we can both get into bed and go to sleep, and everybody and she can get in the crib. So he does a great job with that. Um, and like trying new stuff. He wants her to do that. So he's always like, can she eat this? Can she eat this? And I'm more like cautious, but he's like, oh no, let's try this. So he's definitely the fun parent.
Is she allergic to anything as of now?
No, not of anything. We have had crawfish, we've had salmon, we've had shrimp, peanut butter, eggs. We're hitting all the allergens.
Yeah, that's phenomenal. That's good. Oh, wow. So
Yes.
after these messages, we're going to continue to talk to my guest, Tiffany, as we talk about being a new mom. Are you a new mom? Please do let us know in the comments. What are your feel? What has been your task and your goal, and how do you handle yourself along this journey? So if you like to patronize our company, please make sure that you follow our QR codes right below or towards the end of the show. Any amount would do. So after these messages, we'll talk to my guest, Tiffany. Welcome back to Coffee with Joy. We bring my guest Tiffany back on. Whoop, whoop.
Hi.
Such a new mom. New mom is in the house. Give it up for the new moms. Yes, yes, yes. Because this is a journey forever in the life, as long as the good Lord allows. And we hope many, many years to come, many, many years
Mhm,
to come. So now, what is something like now that you've been in the game for 11, almost a year, give it up. Yeah,
mhm,
here,
mhm, mhm.
here. And what would be an advice? What would be an advice that you would give to a new mom or someone who's looking to get pregnant? That's something that you would share immediately. Anything like far as like, hey, what items you need coming from the hospital, or what is something for far as for them, their self. Anything that you find that's replica that you're like, wow, I would definitely love to share this with new moms going forward.
I think for people who are trying to get pregnant, being very clear on your medical history, what your numbers are for things. So if you know you have some issues with blood pressure, cholesterol,
Mm,
whatever, your weight, just like trying to attack that before. So I kind of went on not like a health journey, but like
mm,
just a very much an awareness journey for what is going on with my body. So I have a lot of different things happening. So just being in tune with what is going on with you medically, like in your challenges, and making sure that you find a provider that can suit your needs. So, I'm older, being pregnant at 37. They see that as high risk pregnancy, advanced maternal age. So just making sure you find a provider that can support women who may have challenges being older and like have experience with that. And so I think that's my first thing. The second thing is, when you become pregnant, like making sure you look for a lactation consultant. If
mm,
you breastfeeding is really not something that you should just wing. So shout out to Shelly, her business Lectora, lactation consultants. Is amazing. So I was able to, meet with lactation consultant ahead of time, making sure you're planning for like the things that you need in turn, like breast pumps, things of that nature. So you're prepared for what you need to experience after you deliver, but then even after you deliver, engaging with that person again and consistently, because there'll be some feeding gaps and some issues, and like that may arise, and just making sure you connect with providers before you meet them, right, and have already established that relationship. And then I will also say, like, really start thinking through like who your ride or die people are, who's going to help you when you come home from the hospital. And in your mind, you may be thinking you're going to have a vaginal birth at a C-section. And I live in a 3-story house, right? Once I went upstairs, that was kind of like it. Like I wasn't supposed to be running up and down the stairs. So really figuring out who can support you in person,
Yeah.
you and your spouse, and then who can support you from afar. So my friends set up meal trains for us. We were constantly getting like gift cards, Uber Eats, food, Instacart, like really figuring out who your village is beforehand, so you can really tap into them and really truly ask for help. A lot of people are like, they don't know what to do.
Yeah.
So when they come to your house, it's like, hey, can you help me wash the baby bottles? Can you help me make a snack? When you're breastfeeding, you end up being so freaking hungry. You eat like a teenage boy. So every 2 hours, you're like, I'm thirsty and I'm hungry. I'm thirsty and I'm hungry. So just finding people to help you, even if it's just like watch the baby while you take a shower and lay down for 20 minutes. Or set a reminder for me to take my pain medicine, set a reminder for me to pump.
Mhm.
Like just finding people to help stand in the gap, because your brain is going to be so all over the place.
Yeah. Oh, wow. That was a list. That's a great list. Definitely. Whew. I mean, too, for sure, is definitely have that notebook and ready, writing down anything so that you don't forget. Because I think we tend to forget things when we go to the doctor and then they come back,
Hmm.
come back home and like, oh man, I should have said this. And then you have to wait again to go
Hmm.
back. So definitely have that notebook, making that a price, and definitely ask for help. I think a lot of people don't ask for help. They think they could be superwoman. Right now, it's time to be,
Hmm.
it's okay to be not the villain, but it's okay to be the help, the need, the person
Yeah.
that's in need. So definitely ask for help, whatever that help looks like, because any little help, any amount would do, would definitely get you closer to you getting your health and making sure that you feel. So I definitely felt those two, having that notebook and definitely with the help. Now,
Hmm.
as what goes through your mind as now she's beginning to turn one. Some parents already know what school they want their child in.
Oh
you know
God.
they know, okay, this is the daycare I want her to be in. What goes through your mind as now things are shifting, because like the first 5 years of
Hmm.
life is like, so what's going through Tiffany head and husband, because you're not alone. What go through your head as you think about that, especially with motherhood? Our minds are always racing, but as
Yeah.
it's racing even more.
I feel like everything is like, oh, is she hitting her milestones? So everything is about milestones.
Mm,
Like, is she developing appropriately? Is she on task and on target? For that, I think. And that's stuff that you work, with your kid at home, right? You can see what the CDC says you should be doing at 12 months, right? Or at 6 months, and like track, can your child do that? And being honest with yourself about that. Daycare, I mean, out for me, it's really, really expensive, right? So I think it goes down to, some people are like, I want them immediately in like a religious school, like
mm,
private religious, like it need to be connected to the church. Some people are like, oh, it needs to be Montessori based. It needs to be for little kids. For me, I just need to know that you love kids and
yeah.
your facility is clean
Mm,
and your providers are nice to kids and they believe in taking good care of them, changing their diaper, doing activities with them, and feeding them, right? And that's really all you need. Um, but I think the biggest debate for me and Kendrick right now is thinking about pre-K 3, pre-K 4, in DC, that's free.
yeah.
And Houston is not, right? So it's only really free, I think, if it's like on like a head start. So like it would be income based.
Yeah.
And we're not going to fit the criterion for that. So you really have to start thinking about what private school you're going to put them in, or are you going to put them in the lottery to go to a Houston independent, like a Houston school district, public school location. So that is all the rage. And it's a lot of drama that goes around that. So it is a Lutheran school and a Catholic school up the street from us. And Kendrick has already called them, like, what's the criterion? Like, what do you have to do? And essentially, she would have to go and like shadow a day, and they would have to see if she's appropriate and a good fit um, for the school. So it's definitely going to be an academic like questionnaire and behavioral.
Yeah.
And private school don't gotta take everybody. So if they feel
Yeah.
like her behavior is a little like shaky, she don't seem cooperative, they can tell her no.
Mm.
So it is that I think is the biggest thing.
Yeah.
Our public school district here in Houston is under state control, so that means Greg Abbott is essentially running our school district, or his people he's appointed. So there's drama behind that and the quality of what is happening at HS HISD. So I think it'll likely be private school, but then it's like cost, where those are things that are top of mind and a lot of drama.
Yeah. I can't
That's
imagine.
there.
The mind doesn't rest, and she's not even one yet. So, hello, new parents. So if you're out there and you think about having kids, be prepared. I'm not against
Hmm.
having kids, but be prepared what comes with it. It's just not the baby.
Hmm.
Because I'm just sitting here thinking like, wow, she's not even in, school age yet, but that's a mind that's already on your all's mind. And I know it's probably on there prior to, but she's not one and it's there. So look at the things that not only taking care of the newborn, but you're taking care of her future if you're a parent that
Hmm.
cares, make
Hmm.
sure that she get the adequate information she needs to succeed in education. So, but again, I have my whole stake on Texas, but we're not gonna talk about that. Yes, I said that. Yeah. We're not gonna talk about it, but that's next
Yeah,
week.
we ain't gonna talk about it, but
Yeah.
it's where I live. So,
We
I mean, it's some people, it's like, oh, we're moving. Like by 5, we're moving and we're gonna move to this school district or this suburb.
Mm,
And that's what a lot of people do. If you have the means to move, then that's cool. Will we have the means to move? Maybe.
yeah,
But then that puts me out of certain other things, right? So
yeah,
when I move to, that's a whole nother ecosystem of people. Houston is so huge. So once you move out of Houston, like proper, then that's a whole nother set of communities you have to like like connect with, right? Because the people you connected with previously are going to be too far away.
yeah.
When you start moving into some of these suburbs, you're not going to want to drive an hour to go for a walk with a mom that you met. Well, now you live in the suburb, you have to find another ecosystem, another community to connect with.
You got my prayers. You got my prayers. As look, I can't be at the negotiation table, but I can just ask God talk on my behalf. Dear Lord, you got it. You got
Yes.
it. So in all of that, and then some, how is Tiffany doing self-care? What does self-care look like for Tiffany? Because we know we don't want the bottom to fall out. Even though we may have the help, sometimes self needs self. How is Tiffany handling herself?
Therapy is important. I will say, I think going through this whole process for me is very challenging just because I lost my mom in 2022.
Mhm.
So I'm doing this whole thing as a new mom with no mom. And immediately kind of when my OB understood that, she's like, oh, we're doing a referral for like maternal mental health. I have like, providers that literally have followed me for the whole first year of
Mm,
her life, just to make sure that they can track postpartum depression, any type of challenges. So I just really encourage women to really connect with support early on because that's important. Um, and you will feel times where you just feel sad, and it's always good to have someone to talk to. So I think that that is paramount for self care.
mm,
Also, get out the house, breathe some fresh air. I know people were talking about, oh, you gotta be inside, you taking the baby outside, you taking the baby outside. I have my baby in the summer. So I'm like, if I get out early and try to go for a little walk before it is like 10,000 degrees out here, I'm going to do that because I needed fresh air.
yeah.
I could not stay in the house and just sit. I need to go outside. And I've recognized that about myself. So that was part of my, postpartum recovery too. Just like I'm gonna take a walk in the park.
Yeah.
And that was like, first I would take Kendrick with me, and then I graduated to the point where I was like, okay, I feel like I'm brave enough to take the baby out by myself. Cause that was like a big point of contention. Like,
Mm,
how can I take the baby out by myself? She's gonna sit in the car seat in the back by herself, and I'm gonna be driving. I can't see.
yeah.
So just really think about that. And I'm always down for a walk and a cup of coffee. I am going to get my little coffee, and whether it's going to be like premium coffee house select $10, or if I it's just gonna be Dunkin' Donuts, but just or coffee at home, finding a way because I would make my little coffee at home and then go for a walk when I had no money.
Yeah.
Um and not no money for an espresso pod. So I was drinking instant coffee. Like,
Mm.
find what it is that you like to enjoy doing. And I swear when you go outside and breathe fresh air, it makes like a million worlds of difference.
Mm. That's great
Yeah.
to hear. Yeah, fresh air.
Yeah.
Take it in because many people love to have that. So that's great to hear. So
Yes.
as we bring the show to a close, Tiffany, what keeps Tiffany going? Prayer, affirmation. What keeps her going throughout motherhood? Just life. Period. What keeps Tiffany going?
Definitely praying to God. I'm like, Lord, I'm so tired. How can I make sure I can still take care of this child, take care of myself? So daily conversations with God.
Mm.
But also just is a blessing. I realize that so many people yearn to be mothers, and I have, received one of the greatest honors as a girl who has so many degrees and so many things. This is one of the best honors I've ever had. So I'm grateful.
Amen. Amen. So again,
Hmm.
thank you so much, Tiffany, for being on Coffee with Joy. So excited to have you. So
Thank you
thank
for
you all.
having me.
Of course. Thank you all for tuning in. Thank you all for coming in and having this seeing this special edition, Motherhood. As for all the mothers out there, again, happy Mother's Day. I hope your day is not only fulfilled with love and joy and many blessings, but just overall you as you being the key point to success in your child's life as well as yours. So if you like to patronize our company, please make sure that you follow our QR codes, for we know any amount will do. And if you love to be a guest on our show, please make sure that you follow our website or just DM us, for every conversation deserves a talk. And as you know, if it is a weekday or weekend, it is Coffee with Joy. Until then, live life on purpose. See you all soon.